The dream for every property developer is to land the most profitable site possible, but only a few manage to do it consistently, deal after deal. They're working in the same market with the same agents, chasing the same opportunities, yet somehow getting completely different results. So what's separating the ones who secure the best sites from everyone else? That's exactly what we're about to unpack. Let's get into it. On this channel, we often talk about due diligence and site selection and making sure the site is the right one. Today's focus is on the actual process, from deciding to buy a development site right through to actually securing the deal. So the key topics we're going to cover: negotiation strategies, how to get the best deals, reading between the lines on property listings. There's a lot that listings tell you without telling you. Off-market deals, on-market deals, managing yourself and the moving parts throughout the process. The goal is to help you, as a real estate professional and a development professional, secure the best site possible. The video is going to outline 5 main areas that you must be bulletproof on before starting the purchasing stage. It's crucial to have all these areas ready and on point because deals move quickly. They can be there 1 minute and gone the next. So being prepared ensures that you can tick all the boxes before purchasing a property. So if you're not yet bulletproof in all these areas, consider seeking help or support where you are deficient. All right, let's get into it. So firstly, being purchase ready. So this is all the housekeeping that needs to be done. So I'm talking conveyancer or solicitor, your accountant, your financial broker. So putting together that team, conveyancer or solicitor. Your conveyancer will be a bit cheaper and is good for pretty standard property transactions. And your solicitor will be a bit more expensive, but more experienced in the law. And when things get a little bit tricky, and maybe some clauses get tricky, and maybe we're talking about certain entities that we're looking to purchase in, solicitors can be more useful in that aspect. So speak to both and get advice and see what's going to suit you. Also, your accountant. Your accountant is likely the one that will set up your entity. So what is the entity that you're going to purchase in? How's that going to be treated from a tax perspective? GST, is it going to be a trust? Is there going to be a trustee company sitting in front of that trust? These are the likely outcomes, but very important that you speak to your accountant about that and your plans moving forward. Are you looking to create an entity that will keep developing year on year on year, and then funds will come into the company, into the trust, and will be dispersed? All these things need to be talked about with your accountant so they can see where you're heading ahead of time, so they can prepare you for where you're going. Then, obviously, your financial broker, super important. They're the ones that are going to get you the money, and you need those approvals in place before you go out hunting for these sites because, which I'll get to soon, your budget is going to determine where you can develop and where you should develop. Once you start putting time, effort, and energy into finding the site, there's a lot of hard work there. So finding the right area is super important. Okay, so your development entity has been set up, your broker's in place, your accountant's happy, your conveyancer's in place, because remember, these people need to be in place because when an opportunity comes your way, bang, the contract's going to need to go to the conveyancer. You know, you may need to be talking it through with your broker to say, hey, I'm thinking about buying this property at this cost. Here's my feasibility. All these people need to be ready to rock and roll when required. So your entity's set up, you've spoken to your broker, you've got a budget. You're in great space to head out there into the marketplace and find a site. You need all these things bedded down because when that site pops up and when you're hunting for that site, you're busy doing due diligence, trying to hunt deals, on market, off market. You need all this stuff bedded down, not scrambling when the time comes to get it in line whilst trying to negotiate a deal. All this stuff needs to be bedded down. Put your mind at ease so you can focus on the next step. All right, next stage. So that base team is ready and you've asked them questions. They've set up what needs to be set up. Now we're moving into where are we buying? Which, like I said earlier, that's where your budget's going to drive you to, because honing in on the area where you're going to buy is super important because you need to channel your efforts into those suburbs. building relationships with those agents, and not to mention putting your team together. They need to operate in the area that you are going to be developing, because you can't buy in all suburbs. And if you're looking at too many suburbs, you will spread yourself too thin and you won't be able to go into the detail, build the right relationships in that specific area if you're looking at too many. So where does your budget permit and where does it make sense? And what's your developing strategy? Are you looking at a dual occupancy? You're looking at a multi-unit development site? All these things matter because your budget will take you to round about your suburbs. But then once you've got that, then it's about dialing in to where you want to develop and where developing makes sense. Budget might take you to an area that maybe has a lot of heritage overlay. It might have some flooding overlays, might be very hilly, and which means that you have to allow a lot of cost for slope on your site and retaining walls and things like that. And it just may not make sense. So dialing in suburbs that suit your budget, but then dialing in suburbs that make sense from a developing perspective. That's super important. Once you've honed in on that, your budget and the areas that you're looking to develop in, then you're starting to get somewhere. Then you can start to get some boots on the ground and start appreciating the streets, the school zones, walking distance to maybe transport, villages, shops, recreation reserves, all these sorts of things. Then you start to figure out the story inside the suburbs that you are looking, which is super important because that will gear you up to make fast decisions when deals come your way, and it will help you discard properties that come your way that aren't any good. There's no point getting an opportunity sent your way in a suburb that you're looking in, but it's just outside a school zone, or it's really too far a walking distance to schools and shops and parks. And you've spent time on it doing the due diligence. How many townhouses will I get on it? What will it cost? And then when you get too far down the line and maybe you're looking at resales, you're looking at them going, where are the resales? I don't think this is the right street. I'm too far away from the action. You needed to figure that out right at the start. So that's why we're doing the research at the front end. So when the right site comes up, you're ready to buy it on market before auction or off market and act quickly so you can beat your competitors to the punch when the right site comes up. All right, so that's a lot of legwork, but once you're bulletproof in that space, it will make your job a lot easier. All right, next one, is your purchase ready team on board? So now I'm talking about your planner and your designer and any other consultants that are required throughout that process. Those other consultants may be contacts of the planner or designer. So early on in the video, I spoke about your broker, your accountant, your lawyer, your conveyancer, all these sorts of that base crew that are going to help you secure the site when the site comes. But these people, these experts in design and planning, they're super important to have on your team because once you've locked them in and the right opportunity comes up, they're the ones that are going to give you the information quickly so you can make decisions quickly, especially if you are early on in your development journey. These are the experts that you're going to need that info off so you can make sure that you buy the right site and then you can deliver on that development throughout the process. So speaking to these people, making sure that they're happy to give you feedback as you find the site, but also feedback quickly so they appreciate the journey you're on. Now, these experts need to be competent in the area where you're looking to develop. So like I said earlier, you found your areas, you found your councils, likely it'll be in the 1 or 2 councils potentially. I wouldn't be looking to spread yourself any thinner than that. So it's either 1 council or 2 councils. Make sure your designer and planner are happy in those councils and they are across what's happening in those areas. Once they're locked in, that's a great stage because they're experts in that area, they're on board with you and your goals, and they will get back to you timely, and it means you can make decisions quickly. Again, like I said, if a property comes on the market, maybe it's going to auction, gives you the ability to act quickly if you think it's the right site, and or off-market opportunities. If it's an off-market site and it's a good one, it will not hang around. So that's where you need to be able to rock and roll, get the feedback, and be able to make an offer on that site when the time comes. So that's why I was talking about conveyancing, solicitors, accounting, brokers, all those guys need to be bedded down. Entities are in place, budgets are in place with the broker, all needs to be locked away because you're moving into the next stage. You're moving into finding these hot sites where you need to move quickly and have confidence to move quickly. Again, circling back to the areas and the areas inside the areas, understanding what streets you're actually targeting and what streets you may be trying to avoid. Might be close to a cemetery, might be close to a power station. You need to stay away from those areas. So when the right one pops up, hold on, this is a street that I've earmarked, or one of the streets I've earmarked. It's far away from these negatives and it's close enough to the positive. And that's where you can laser focus in on the due diligence, talk to your designer, talk to your town planner, and start rocking and rolling, doing your numbers, keeping the agent in the loop, and moving forward. All right, so they're onboarded. Now, they need to know you'll be calling them and you need fast responses. All right, now, if this is sounding a bit too much, and like I said earlier, if you're building out your team, buyer's advocacy for development sites is what we do. Here in Victoria, that's what we do, is find properties to activate. So if you're looking for that help and that extra assistance to guide you through the buyer's advocacy process, this is what we do. This is what I do. It's what Gav does in the office. We're doing it all day, every day. So book a link below. And if you need help to manage the site that you're just about to buy or you already own, that's what my team and I do every single day. And we also offer one-on-one mentoring, which can be a great fit also. So check the link below for that. Okay, so you've got your accounting, your legal, conveyancing team in place and your broker ready to go. You've got your due diligence team in place that's ready to rock and roll when you require. You've found the area that you're looking to develop in. You've found the area, you've found the little spots inside the area specifically. You're ready to go. Now, are we looking at on-market or off-market deals? We're looking at both, okay? So this is where the magic happens. But also, this is where the hard work happens, okay? You need to make yourself known to the strong local agents in that area. So look up on realestate.com who's doing the business. What you'll find is it's the old 80-20 rule. You'll have 20% of the agents doing 80% of the work, and you'll have 80% of the agents doing 20% of the work. So where are you going to focus your energy? You're going to focus your energy on the 20% of the agents doing 80% of the work. That's where you're going to get the most bang for buck on your time in particular, because that's what we need to protect and that's what we need to be good at managing. All right, so reaching out to those agents, sending them an email, giving them a call, going and seeing them at an open inspection. That's the best place to get under their noses because they get so many calls, so many texts, so many emails. That's still a great touch point for sure, but going and introducing yourself at an open for inspection on a Saturday or during the week after hours, whatever it looks like, but going and meeting them, striking up a conversation, building a relationship with them rather than just being an inquiry on realestate.com. Actually go and meet them, get to know them, and build a bond, because when you do reach out and call them or text them or email them, they'll go, oh, that's Jack from the open. These people get hassled a lot, especially when you're dealing with the top 20% in a marketplace. They try and protect their time also, and they want to spend time with people that are fair income, that are going to be doing deals. So that's the person you want to be. You want to be the person who's real, is a real buyer, looking to do real property development, and let the agent know that. So you need to be clear with the agent what you are chasing, and whether that's an off-market deal, on-market deal, whatever it is. Agents are there to help, but they're also there to be efficient with their time. So as long as they're dealing with proper punters, they will usually help you and help you get what you want, because helping you get what you want will, invertedly, help them get what they want, which is closing deals. All right, so you need to do your research also. Going to the open for inspections, checking results, seeing what's online, seeing what's just been listed, seeing what's maybe been listed but not moving. Okay, so we're talking about development sites in the area, and then we're talking about the finished product as well. And this will give you some common ground to build a relationship with these real estate agents as well, because they're all over it as well. If they're in the top 20% in their area, they're at the top of their game. They know what's selling, they know what's coming to market, and if you know that research also, and you can show them that, they're going to go, hey, this person knows what they're doing and they're putting in the work. They must be fair income. So know your results and in your specific area, okay? You need to be present at auctions as well. It's a job. If something's going to auction, being present, seeing what buyers are there, seeing how deep the buyer pool is for potentially sites or the finished product, the townhouses or whatever it is you are looking to develop, how deep is the buyer pool? And appreciate, was it one buyer at the auction? Or was it maybe 5 and one buyer bought it and 4 people missed out? These are the things we want to know. These are the nuances and the detail that's going to help you be very good at what you do and connect with those local agents. All right, finally, negotiating and closing your deal. You need to be close to agents, and it's great if they can like you also, because it makes it easier to work together. And be respectful of their time. They want to do a deal, so be transparent. Talk to them about what you want. If you want the site, make sure you tell them you want the site. If they don't know, potentially they could go and sell it, and suddenly you'll see it sold on realestate.com, but you didn't make it clear that you really wanted it, because they will close a deal without you if you haven't made it clear that you are a proper buyer. Smoke and mirrors rarely works. Agents want to deal with someone who is giving them insights into their goals. It can help them do a great job. And like I said, if you're dealing with the top 20%, these are the ones that are good at closing deals, good at thinking, oh, wow, that property could suit that person, and pulls together that deal. So they can't do that unless they have this information from you and you are reasonably transparent with them. You need to move fast and move with conviction, making quick calls and being confident. And that's that whole having your team in place and ready to go, so you can make the offer and do the deals before your competitors. And making unconditional offers is definitely going to put you ahead of the game. So working with your broker, a lot of brokers will say, oh, can we make it subject to finance? Can we do this? Can we do that? I've had a lot of people over the journey say my brokers suggest that we make it subject to finance. And I've had to say, if it needs to be subject to finance, that's fine. But if it doesn't, we genuinely shouldn't, because it's going to put you behind the 8 ball as far as making an attractive offer. Even I've seen deals where we haven't been the highest offer, but we've been unconditional, versus a higher offer that is subject to finance for maybe 7 days. The vendor will say, hey, bird in the hand, unconditional offer, it's slightly lower, I'll take that one rather than the subject to finance. So all these things matter, and sometimes the people on your team don't exactly appreciate the deals that you're in and the negotiations that you're in also. Okay, another thing I want to mention, when something's going to auction and it's marked for auction, that it will be quoted slightly lower than potentially vendor expectations. Okay, so that range that they put on the listing, if it's going to auction, you need to look through that a little bit, because they will traditionally be looking to lower that price range to generate interest and get people to their opens and generate competition. It's something that consumer affairs aren't very happy with, but it's something that agents still do out there, so be careful of it. If a listing comes online and it's a private sale, there's every chance that the range that's put online is more accurate than a range that's put on an auction property. So that's one just to be careful of when you're looking at properties. You've got a budget, you need to fit within your budget. It'll mean that you can cut through the noise a little bit and try and understand what that vendor is chasing, whether it's private sale or auction campaign and auction sale. Anyway, that's just a little tip and trick. But again, when you get in with your agents, that's where you're able to have those conversations to say, hey, where do you think the range is? Are we looking at the top end? Are we maybe looking a little bit higher? Or is it genuinely inside the range? That's where you're building up relationships with these agents, and they will tell you if you've got a good relationship. This part of the process is super important. The focus here is on the actual process of securing the site. Other videos cover due diligence, research, and knowledge and expertise. This video focuses on the ability to close deals, move fast, and secure sites. There's no point knowing everything or doing all the research if you can't act quickly. Many people do their research, but don't hustle and take action. When the right deal appears, they can't move fast enough to close it. The goal is to help you be the best competitors and find the best sites. This is super important video for anyone serious about property development and securing the right deals. If you want a shortcut and cut out the mistakes and learn how other developers are deciding whether to sell, buy, or hold, jump into our free property developer network. Thousands of us in there sharing sites, numbers, feasos, and lessons in real time. The link's below. Or if you want help with your next project, that's exactly what my team and I do every day with our project management service. And we also offer one-on-one mentoring for those that need that bit of guidance and support. There's another link below. If you can book a call with me directly, we'll work through exactly what makes sense for you and your project and exactly what you need. We have something to suit most situations, if not all. All right, if you're still here, I appreciate you sticking around right to the end. Do me a favor, give me a hype, give the video a hype, drop a like and a comment. It really does make a difference and helps us keep creating this stuff for free. I'm Peter Kelly. Until the next one, see you at the top.